Welcome, bout betters. Well, I've already placed a few bets. You can ask me what those are in the comments section, or I have some time. I will definitely try to make content that reveals some of those bets. I will be placing a bet on both of these bouts, the co-main and main event between Dustin Poirier and Charles Olivera, Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena. Fans, hats off for this particular analysis here. There isn't a lot to be said, though, about Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena. It's really when and how Amanda Nunes is going to win. We know she's going to either win by a TKO or by a submission, and we expect it to happen early. So is it going to happen in rounds 1 or 2, or is this a possibility that because we're back into a large octagon, that Juliana Pena could basically run for her life, circle, evade, and just delay Amanda from getting her hands on her and touching her up or putting her down and submitting her, which I think is going to be the method that Amanda Nunes finishes this bout. I did put a stab on Amanda Nunes at plus 350 by submission, and I may double down on the rounds of when this happened. Bottom line is I don't think this fight goes the distance. I think Amanda Nunes wants to get out of there very quickly. She has a new kid. She has a family. You know, it's funny that I mentioned that on the positive side for Juliana Pena is that she's been training a whole year for one opponent. And I was with the, forget the gentleman from the MMA experts that was just telling me it doesn't matter if Amanda Nunes took a whole year off, that Juliana Pena could still not defeat Amanda Nunes. And I'd have to agree with that. Amanda Nunes is just so much more on a different level and off the scale of Juliana Pena. This is a spotlight opportunity for Juliana Pena to bolster her own personality, get in front of the camera where her future is going to be in commentating. Once she loses here, and hopefully I bet she prefers it will be by submission because she doesn't want to get her pretty face and her nice teeth damaged. But Amanda Nunes might be really pissed off. She might decide that she wants to just pound Juliana into submission and literally force her to tap from strikes. So a lot of things, not a lot of things can happen, but Amanda winning this is what happens. So I wouldn't hate you. Amanda now, as you see when I first made this slide, it was minus 770. Amanda now is up to minus 910. So everyone's stacking her into their parlays, which is fine. I think if you could find a spot with a dog is what I would probably do, or with another favorite that if you're comfortable with that number. I know a lot of people are doing a square parlay of Amanda Nunes with Sean O'Malley, and that comes to a minus 225. If you have the expendable cash to make that play, I don't think that's a horrible play at all. I think you'd have to bet a lot in order to get your good value out of it, but minus 225 for some risk. And I know a lot of people don't want to take Sean O'Malley, and I'm a Sean O'Malley hater, but I just see these fights as a setup for both of them, especially Sean O'Malley. So in this bout, I think the plays will be on the rounds and method props and when Amanda Nunes finishes Juliana Pena. I don't think this goes to a decision. I don't think this goes into round 3. So those lines are already well juiced, and I know a lot of people are going to put them into their parlays, probably putting it in a parlay with the Olivera Poirier, for example, fight not to go the distance, for example. I know a lot of people, and I don't blame you. If you can cover that chalk, that's fine. Or if you find a way where the chalk benefits you. And I played with a little of the numbers with Amanda Nunes when I was at the casino placing my bets today, and I didn't see where I found value playing with her by finish or on the money line. I might put her in something, but I thought I'm just going to prop her out. I took her by submission at plus 350. I'm satisfied with that. I might hedge that with a TKO bet or with a round prop, grabbing her in rounds 1 and 2, I believe was plus money, and I like that position as well. I didn't jump on it yet, but I think that might be a play for me as well. So let me know what you guys are doing in the chat with, or in the comment section with Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena. I'll respond to you guys. You guys know that. I'm doing something a little different. I'm just shooting off the cuff here. I normally have something scripted, but I want to get to the MMA whole show. And I'm also just tired of regurgitating fight outcomes based on Tapology. I think I do that enough, and you guys hear that enough. But I am excited for this next bout between Charles Olivera and Dustin Poirier. I am taking off my fan cap, though. I want to make money on this bout. And I've made a determination. I'll tell you in the end what I think I'm going to do. Look at the records on these guys. Charles Oliveira, the path that both of these men have taken is incredible. They have, this is, to me, this is going to be a war of heart, of attrition, not just skill. Neither man wants to leave this octagon. These guys will literally die in there to keep for Oliveira to keep the belt, and for Dustin Poirier to win the belt. He would sacrifice his own child, I believe, to get that belt. And I don't think I'm exaggerating. Both these guys have great XR numbers. As you see, the expected XR number favors Poirier in terms of the XR number, the XR percentage as well. So that's why he's slight favorite, I think, in this instance. He has more knockouts. As we see, Oliveira, we know, is one of the greatest, if not the best submission artist in the UFC. Things that people overlook in terms of the striking is how good Oliveira strikes. The guy, we're basically seeing the best Muay Thai striker at 155, or even in the UFC. Well, that's questionable because Valentina Shevchenko is pretty damn badass, and so is a few other ladies that can compete for that title. And Dustin Poirier is definitely the best boxer at 155. Oliveira fights really long, and he really does need to use his reach and his kicking game, which I think that are going to benefit him. But Dustin Poirier has fantastic striking defense. You know, he moves that arm to parry those strikes. He checks leg kicks so well. But I still feel that Oliveira, if he could close distance, has not necessarily an advantage, but he has more of an array of attacks. He could fight in the plum. He could fight in the clinch. He has great knees. And Charles has fantastic kicks. He's going to come forward, but how is he going to respond to Dustin's counter striking? Poirier's defensive striking and offensive striking is proven, and better. I would argue against better competition, not just recently. Both guys have had a hard path to this, but Poirier has had a very hard path here. So I don't know who I give the striking advantage to. I'm leaning slightly with Oliveira. Dustin tends to get rocked early, so does Oliveira look to grapple early, or does he continue with his striking? I think whoever gets hit first or gets stunned first, because both these guys have been struck on the chin, and how they respond is going to be important. So I think whoever gets hurt first might lose first. So I'm looking for an early finish. That's why everyone else is also on the under 2.5, the not to go distance prop. I think either guy is going to finish the other. I mean, Poirier is a beast of a boxer and has finish ability, and we know what Charles can do on the ground. The grappling, I understand that Poirier has a background and a black belt from AT&T, but let's just be real, folks. It's not the same thing as Oliveira's true octagon proven MMA MMA jiu-jitsu. Yeah, jiu-jitsu for MMA. Poirier has last had a submission, what was it, 10 years ago against Max Holloway? Hats off to, I mean, that's a huge feather in your cap, but that's a long time ago. And Oliveira has subbed some of the best submission artists in MMA, as well as just other fighters. So if this hits the mat where I think Oliveira has an advantage, Poirier will get submitted. I think the key to this bout for each of these fighters is their defensive ability, because as I mentioned, whoever gets stunned or hurt first is probably going to lose this fight. So who am I picking? I think I'm leaning slightly on Charles Oliveira because he has more opportunities for victory. I think he has people are underestimating his striking. I love his length and range. I love his kicks. I love his knees. I think he could touch up Dustin early, and that submission opportunity will be there. So I'm going to sprinkle or go with Oliveira on the money line, and I'm going to sprinkle that finish line. And I probably will not use the not to go to distance prop, which is minus 360 or something like that, in a parlay. I'm just going to avoid that. But let me know what you guys are going to be doing in the comments section. As always, guys, remember to like and subscribe. I'll try to make another piece on some of my plays here possibly tomorrow, or always just constantly looking at YouTube, what you guys are saying in the comments section. I appreciate everybody that joins me in there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Good luck this weekend. Have a good time. bet within your limits, drive safely, stay away from those handguns. Like and subscribe. Thank you.